What's going on, everybody? It's Dan here with another Moonshine Talking, and we're going to review today the new album from Midnight, Hellish Expectations. I don't know if you can see that. There's the CD. I just got in the mail a couple days ago. I also got the sweet shirt that I picked up with the album cover. Get a load of that. And we'll get right into it. If you're not familiar with Midnight, Midnight is a band formed in Cleveland, Ohio in 2003 by a gentleman named Athanar. It's basically a one-man project. He does have a touring band on the album, this particular album. He's got Commander Vanek and Iron Possessor credited as musicians on the album, so I imagine they recorded with him. I believe that's his touring band that he uses. Uh, yeah, they're killer. They are a blackened-thrash speed band. They have a lot of Venom notes, a lot of Motorhead, a lot of that old school speed and thrashy, you know, black, gnarly abrasive vocals, and it all comes together real nicely. Like I said, they formed in 2003, primarily as a side project for him. He apparently did not have any interest in doing full lengths. He was just going to do splits and EPs. Eventually, in 2011, they put out their first full length, Satanic Royalty. That was on Hell's Headbangers. They did two subsequent releases, No Mercy for Mayhem and Sweet Death and Ecstasy, all killer albums. Then in 2020, Midnight got signed to Metal Blade. They came out with Rebirth by Blasphemy. Then I want to say 2021, correct me if you want, but they came out with Let There Be Witchery, and this is their most recent release. I heard about it late last year. Athanar did an interview with J Dog, and they kind of spilled the beans whether or not that was intentional or otherwise. So I was real excited that this was coming out. I first heard of Midnight in 2019. I went to go see the almighty Electric Wizard in St. Pete, Florida. They had never been to Florida before. I don't think they've been here. Well, they haven't been here since. I know that for a fact. And I was super stoked to go see them. Electric Wizard is one of my favorite bands of all time. They're just killer doom, sludgy, not so much depressive. Depressive is a bad word, but if you're familiar with Electric Wizard, they're one of the best doom metal bands out there. Got a killer sound. Some of it can be a bit repetitive, but that's kind of the fun in a lot of what they do. They have a style, they stick with their style. Their style is awesome, so I enjoy it thoroughly. I was super excited to go see them when they came to town. I got a buddy of mine to go with me. He liked them. He had never heard of them before I started playing them for him, so he was all excited to go see him. So we went to go see him, and I want to say it was October of 2019. And they had a band opening for them who I had no idea who they were. It turned out to be Midnight. I was surprised that there was a shit ton of people there that were there excited as all get out to go see these guys. And I was intrigued based on the fact that they had so much support there at the show. And they played and they blew my socks off. They were just, I looked at my buddy and I said, these guys definitely studied their Venom albums and it's killer. They have a good sound, good style, a good look, the aesthetic, everything is there, everything's right on. And it definitely, they made a fan that night. My buddy, not so much. He's not a big thrash guy, so he really wasn't impressed with them, but I enjoyed them, and I've been listening to them ever since. Granted, it's only 4 years, but like many things, I was late to the game, but better late than never is something, I say that quite a bit. But yeah, so that's kind of the backstory of me getting into Midnight. I'll also include, I've seen them live a couple of times. They played in the Tampa area a couple of times. I've missed them a couple of times, but each time they're here, they deliver. Athenar's stage presence is phenomenal. He's a maniac on stage, and he gives 110% each time he's up there performing. The songs are always on point. The presentation's always on point. Like they're just a killer live band. Even if you're not really a fan of that style, I would always recommend going to see them. They usually, when they're headlining, they bring some cool bands out with them. I saw they had Spirit Adrift and Spider open for them one time. The other time they had, I can't think of who they had with them the other time. Forgive me, but they always bring out it's a nice mix of bands that play with them. And again, they're always killer live performance, energetic. The songs are great. Everything about it is they get everybody pumped up and into it, and everybody leaves having a good time. So that's all you can ask for in a band. All right, let's get into this. As far as the album itself, there's 10 tracks, clocks in at about 25 minutes long, which is blistering. And as far as the best songs I felt on here were the middle. It opened up really strong with Expect Total Hell. That one, it took me a few listens to really kind of get into it. But it's got that signature midnight sound. It's punishing, blistering, speeding through, catchy with lots of hooky riffs and more like the not to get all techno with the guitar stuff, but they have that real gritty, more of like the I want to say the neck pickup. All you musicians can correct me if you want, but they have it's more like that kind of like high register. I'm trying to sound intellectual, but I'm probably not. But I think you know what I mean. But it's really good. I love the guitar tone on it. That's one of the first things I tend to listen for in bands is the tone of the guitar, and if that catches me, and of course the bottom end, if it's got that punishing, pounding beat to it, and especially even if it's catchy or got some hook to it in some manner, that's really what kind of can, no pun intended, hook me. But yeah, Expect Total Hell was really good. Honestly, the next couple of songs, Gas Scrape and Masked and Deadly, they were okay. They're solid tunes. They're not bad, but they really didn't do too much for me. But then you get into Slave to the Blade, Dungeon Lust, Nuclear Savior. Those three, one right after the other. That combo is just tremendous. Killer just punches you right in the dick. It's very take no prisoners. It's that again. Those are really Slave to the Blade to me is the best song on the album, and it has that very killer, that signature midnight sound, that kind of sleazy motorheadish speed combined with the venom dirtiness and grittiness and abrasive vocals. All the songs real fast and catchy. That you can tap your toe to it, bang your head. Hell, if you even wanted to dance to it, I'm sure somebody would do something like that beyond slam dancing. But those three, right in one after the other, they deliver tremendously. The next couple on the album, uh, Deliver Us to Devil. Actually, I should say Deliver Us to Devil is next. That's all right. It's again, it's a solid song. There's nothing really wrong with it. It just didn't really stand out to me as the others did. Then Merciless Slaughter, that comes up next, and that has a very hellhammery type of sound to me, at least to me. It's a little bit slower and more plotting, not in the doomy sense, but for Midnight, who relies more on speed and hooks and a little bit more of a catchy thrash and black thrash style, then it's a little bit slower. Like I say, it's a little bit more hellhammery to me, but it's a very killer song. It's definitely up there among the better ones on the album. And then it ends with Doom, Death, Desire, and FOAL. And FOAL is good. Doom, Death, and Desire is all right. Once again, this album kind of for me, it goes from really killer to what you would expect in a Midnight album. And again, it was a real fast listen, 25 minutes when I first got it. I took it home. I got it in the mail, took it home while I was on break, and by the time my break was done, I had listened to the whole thing. Came home, listened to it again another time. Was working out earlier today, just trying to prep a little bit better for this, and listening to it, and it was killer. Just tremendous. So overall, I'd give it a 3 out of 5. Among it's not their best work. I think it's a little bit better than Let There Be Witchery. Let There Be Witchery was decent, but it wasn't compared to some of their other stuff, some of their early work. I didn't really like it as much. Some of the songs lacked a little bit of the punch and the hooks and the like the dirty sleaze on them. There was just I don't know. There was just something about it that was missing, and this one kind of delivered a little bit more. So if you're interested, go pick it up. If you're a fan of Midnight, you won't be disappointed. I'm certainly not disappointed, even though I'm a little bit more critical on certain songs more than others. But the whole album is good. I can't really, I'm not complaining about it one way or the other. I think it was definitely worth it. It was worth waiting. I was anticipating it, and I was glad to get it. Glad to have the shirt, be able to rock the shirt. And yeah, then that's it. That's pretty much that is my midnight review of Hellish Expectations that just came out on Metal Blade. You can get it on Bandcamp. I'm sure you can get it from Metal Blade, probably Amazon or wherever else you pick stuff up. So yeah, if you like it, go get it. If you don't like it, then don't pick it up. If you if you don't, if you're not into them, I don't know what else. I hopefully you'll check them out. Go YouTube them or whatever and see if you like any of their stuff. But I definitely I recommend them. They're one of my favorite bands, the newer bands for me as far as stuff that I've discovered in the most recent years. So I enjoy them. I enjoy them a lot, and I have a couple. I have a poster that you can't see in here that's hanging up. I got a couple of their shirts and all that. Yeah, they definitely. I enjoy them a lot. So that's it. That's my album review. Hope you enjoy it. Hope you enjoy the content. Hope you find it entertaining. I'll be posting. I mentioned in the other. I mentioned this in the other video, but I got another video that I'm gonna be posting. I'll probably do something else coming up here pretty soon. Yeah, that's it. So as always, stay sick, stay heavy, stay brutal. Upon impact, always tuck your chin and don't forget to breathe. Have a nice day. Have a good weekend, and I will catch you next time. Later.